everybody, and welcome to September's challenge. So if you're subscribed to my newsletter, you would have seen on my website that I have the challenge ready for September. So the whole idea is something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue. And I don't know why this came to me. It just did, and I couldn't shake it. I tried to think of other things for the challenge, but this thing was just in my head and it would not go away. So the only part I couldn't figure out how I was going to do it was the borrowed part. So I thought for borrowed, we could do... if you want to borrow something from somebody else, don't know exactly how. The only way I could see you being able to borrow something from a friend to use is if it's something like this, distress spray stains or paint or something like that you can actually use and give back. Because otherwise, unless you're going to give them the whole project, you can't very well give it back to them. So I borrowed from the trash or recycling, because it was paper, though the canvas probably would have went in the garbage. But anyways, that's what I chose for my borrowed. I'll start off first with my old. What I'm working on right now is the old. Actually, I use a lot more old than just these pages. This is a very, very old set. It's by Heidi Swap, and it's the only thing it says on the package is album tabs. Not that you can still get this. I think the only way you'd be able to get this is if somebody like me had it and was selling it. Because it was back on the back of the package, it says 2013. So yeah, it was a little while ago. But you see how it has that really nice white pattern? And as I'm sure you could tell in the video as I was spraying them, it resists media. It'll resist the spray stains, ink pads, all that kind of stuff. You can just wipe it right off. So it's very pretty that way. So I thought the back side of them is plain white, and I didn't want that. So I'm going to back the back of the pages with another thing it is old, but I chose it for my blue because all the paper that I chose has blue in it. That triangle one has a very light blue, and then the dark is navy. It may appear almost black to you, but it's actually a navy. And then the other sheet of paper is a navy and, kind of off-white stripe. And then the other one is light blue and circles. So, there it is. So that is my blue. Now, I learned a little trick when I was cutting out these pages, and I did leave a little clip in there to show it. But if you use your 3-hole punch, you can punch right in the corner where the tab is, where the page meets the tab. You'll see it right here. If you punch that, it is so much easier to cut, because then you don't have to try to go around the inner curve of the tab. Just thought I'd leave that in there. You guys may already be doing this. I don't know, but I found it very helpful. So my pages are all done. And I really, honestly, when I was doing this, at this point, I was excited. I hadn't played with this kind of stuff in such a long time. And I was finding it fun, because I used to love scrapbooking. And this reminded me of scrapbooking, making mini albums and stuff. And I do think I would have had an easier time if I went that way with it, like if I added photos, because it got to a point where I really struggled with knowing what to do with the pages. I didn't know how to decorate them, what to add to them, and you know, that whole dilemma of there needing to be a focal point when I know there doesn't need to be, but it's almost like the brain needs something to focus on and to work around. And I struggled with that with these pages. So I think it would have been so much easier if I did do photos and worked around those. And it would have made a really nice album too. But I wasn't in the mood to go looking through photos, because photos is like a rabbit hole for me. I start looking at photos and then I'll go back to the past, and then I'll see my little ones. Well, they're not little now, but when they were little, and then I'll get all sad because they're not little anymore. And I'll be looking at all of them, and then I'll be watching videos, and it's just, yeah, it's a rabbit hole. And I was not going there. So I did not choose photos for the albums. So anyway, lots of old products here. Like those cards are Heidi Swap cards. The little flags and stuff you see off to the right. I know it's from a scrapbooking, like 12 by 12 paper pad, and one of the sheets had like all these embellishments that you could cut apart. But I can't remember the brand. Like, it's old. Like, again, probably like 2013 or older. And these are like Heidi Swap's banners and flags. And the stickers there off to the left, that's also Heidi Swap. And then there's some Jelly Bean Studio, I think it's called, stickers, and all kinds of old stuff. Like, I have actually thrown out a lot of stuff from when I scrapbooked, but there is still a lot that I've kept because I feel like it can be used in the mixed media world. I probably should have thrown it out or, well, donated it to somebody, but I don't know anybody who crafts, like, around me. So, I don't know. Maybe one day, if I still haven't used it, I'll find somebody who will want it, although it'll be really old by then and maybe harder to find somebody who wants to use it. But we'll see. So basically all I did for the pages is just add embellishments. Like that strip you see there, that is a piece of canvas from It Was in the Trash. So I think there's some drama going on in the neighborhood. I hear yelling. And it's not normal for here. Anyway, got distracted. The canvas. It was from when I did a gel press video, the Print to Project. And I used a canvas, so I removed it from its frame. And I cut off the edges because it had the staple holes in it. So I kept those strips. Well, I did have them in the trash, and it wasn't a gross trash. There was nothing gross in it. It was just mostly like papers and cardboard and plastic. But anyway, that's what the strips are from. And these are like kind of like vellum clear stickers. Found those on Amazon. I think I just happened upon them when I was looking for, washi tape or something. Old Heidi Swap stickers. So we've done something old, something new. Oh, the new. There's a stamp set that I bring out. And it's not brand new, but it's new to me. and blue was the paper. So that is the prompts for this challenge. And I went into the challenge, and there's not a whole lot of detail to give, but I spoke about it on my blog. There's a blog post with talking about the challenge and very basic steps on how I created the album. Not nearly as much detail as a video. It just basically showed me doing the pages, like the very basics of the pages, and then it finished. So a lot of these label stickers you see, like the plain ones, those are just from like a dollar store. I find a lot of times you can see they have a lot of nice stickers. Tim Holtz collage papers, that's something I have probably maybe 5 rolls of collage papers, and I love them. I absolutely love them, but I don't think to use them. And it's awful because they are so gorgeous. So yes, you read here. This is the point where I became frustrated. So frustrated. Like, I'd walk away, I'd come back, and I walked away. But I had taken a break because I was hungry and I needed to grab some lunch. And when I came back and looked at it and I started trying to play with it, I was just like, nope, don't want to do it. I don't know what changed, but it was just not working for me at all. So I thought to try and break myself from the mood. I started stamping out my images. And this is the stamp set that I was referring to. It's the Be Willing stamp set from Dina Wakley. And like I said, it's not brand new, but that was my first time ever using it. It's new to me. I wasn't able to get my hands on it for a while, and then I found it on Amazon, I believe. So it's a new to me stamp set. And I don't give the names of all the stamp sets on the screen, but I will list them down below the video and leave some links if they're available on Ranger. If not, then you'll have to do what I do, and that's just do a Google search and try to find it if you're wanting it. Because I get mine either from Simon Says Stamp or Ranger. Except for that Be Willing, I actually found that one on Amazon. And so this was my way of overcoming that whole focal point part. I just couldn't shake it. It's like, to me, I think everything I do pretty much has a focal point. Like if I'm working on collage, there's usually like one main image, like one thing that everything else seems to be centered around, or I don't know, a quote that might grab your attention. But to me, there's always something. And that's what I found difficult with this mini album. There needed to be something. In my head, there needed to be anyway. If you do things, like if you create journal pages or mini albums where there is not a focal point, tell me what it is you do. Like, what's your thinking process? Like, how do you, I don't know if it's even something you can explain, but how do you get over not having a focal point? Please teach me. Because I struggle with that. See, look how pretty that collage paper is. I really need to learn to use it more. And that is just some Liquitex gel medium that I'm using. And sorry if you hear noises, I'm trying to open my coffee. took my son to work and was feeling really tired, and I knew I had to do a voiceover, and sitting at a computer makes me feel tired. So I thought I would grab myself a cup of coffee. So when I stamped out those images from Be Willing stamp set, I just use Distress ink and maybe some Distress oxide. Yeah, I think I did at one point. I think I did some with just ink, and then I did some with a bit of oxide, maybe. So you see those little pieces, those again are Heidi Swap, and they work the same way as the pages did, where it has that resist on it. They're so pretty. And I have so much of it because our Michaels used to carry Heidi Swap. I don't think it does anymore. I can't recall seeing anything lately with Heidi Swap in there. Our Michaels, honestly, is getting pretty crappy. Shh. But it is. Like, it doesn't have a lot of Ranger. It used to have so much Heidi Swap, and that's how I got all this. Like, I don't know if it was at a point where it was deciding they were no longer going to carry her, but I got like that, the mini album, the tab pages, that's like a pack of 5, and I got it for $2.50 at Michael's. So, you know, that's almost like getting something for free with Michael's pricing. And all their stuff was on clearance. So that's how I got all that Heidi Swap stuff years ago, because I loved her when I scrapbooked. And if I scrapbooked, I'm sure I would still love her. So hey, while I have you guys here, I am trying to think of a name, like, you know, with Mischief Circus closing down, I know, devastating. That's my main source of collage. And, I mean, don't get me wrong, I have more than enough to get me through life. But when my whole plan, like when I start teaching classes, like offering classes for sale and stuff like that, a lot of it was most likely going to be collage because that's what I love. And I was going to use Mischief Circus as a source, like, you know, pick certain collage sets and link to those for whoever took my class to be able to get the same collage if they wanted to do it exactly how I was doing it. So now that they're closing, it's like, oh my goodness, like, that was devastating. So I thought I would try and make my own collage sheets. And don't worry, it won't be like that freebie set that I gave first when I launched my website. It's going to be more in the style of like the stuff you would get on Mischief Circus. Like, you know, like magazine images altered, like, you know, the funky stuff. Now, occasionally I may do something like what I did with my freebie, but for the most part, it'll be more the other style of collage because that's what I love and that's what I use when I do collage work. So that is what I am working on. I'm trying to build my own collage, which is really hard because you want to make sure you're not stepping on any toes. You can't use, like, I don't know, other people may, but I'm making sure not to use anything that I got from anybody else because it's wrong. And I don't want to get in trouble. So I'm trying to build up my own supply of images, and then, you know, I have to cut them out and try to rework them so it's not like the original. It's a lot of work putting together a collage. I don't know if it'll get easier over time once I get the hang of it, but right now it feels like a lot of work, and it's a lot of learning too with the techie side of it. But anyway, I don't want to bore you. I'm trying to think of a name for, I don't know, like for the brand. Like, you know what I mean? Like, for example, Mischief Circus had lots of different designers for their collage sheets. And, for example, Crowbit Studio. So that was the name of her collage sheets. That was her brand. And I thought it would be nice if I had a name for them instead of like Denise Lush collage sheets. Like if I had a quirky, funny name for them. So drop your ideas down below the video. I would love to hear them. I'm thinking the quirkier and the crazier the better because that's what collage is to me. So far, I have a picture of a donkey that I've done that I would really like to use. So I was thinking, I'm not stuck on it, but it would be cool if I could include the word donkey in it because, you know, I love donkeys. So I did do one, like, and just to see what it was like the banner on the bottom of a collage sheet with Hip Donkeys Studios. I think that's what it was, Hip Donkey? Yeah, Hip Donkey Studio. So I don't know if that's what I'll go with or not, but I am not good at coming up with names. Not good at all. So any ideas you have, put them in the comments because I would love to hear them. Maybe I should have made that September's challenge. No arting at all, just do my work for me. So I realize I've been babbling on and on about other stuff and not really talking about what it is I'm doing on the video, but there's not really much to tell. I'm just choosing stuff and gluing it down. Like that tissue paper was just like tissue paper that was underneath something I had been working on ages ago. Had a little tiny bit of paint on it. But sometimes I just like to layer things just to break it up, like break up the patterns or to add a little bit of softness to it. And I didn't put up what colors I used for like the stamped images or coloring the embellishments and stuff like that because I feel that's personal preference and not everything needs to be done, you know, exact. This is just to show you what I did for the challenge. You guys aren't going to do the exact same thing I'm doing. And if you guys have all these things, then wow, you're just as bad as I am. But I just basically chose colors that went with the page that I was doing. Like I think that image there is like sponge sugar and probably tumbled glass, something like that. And it worked really well with the colors of the triangles on that paper. I had a hard time finding a spot for those navy circles. I really liked them when I stamped them out, but most of the time when I tried them on the page, it's like they were too bold for everything else that was happening. Some more old stuff, but this time it's Tim Holtz. That was one good thing about this challenge. I used a lot of old stuff. dipped into my supplies. Now, this video is really long, and I don't normally do them this long. And I thought about breaking up in 2 videos, but instead of doing that, because I already had it all into my editing software and I didn't want to have to redo things, so I marked at roughly a halfway point, and you'll see when it comes up. So I thought it was a good spot if you wanted to take a break, because like I said, it's a really long video, and I completely understand if you don't want to watch me for a full hour. Like, that's a lot. So I thought I would break it and put the time in the description box, and then you could come back to the video at another time and you'll know where you left off. So you'll see it when we get there. We're getting fairly close to the halfway mark. I thought I would do that for you. I understand you can only handle so much of me. I'm a lot. See, this just coloring in these things, I don't know. It's just so pretty, and then you get to wipe them away and the color, and it's just so simple and so fun and so pretty. I could easily, if I had like all the time in the world, I could easily see me get back into scrapbooking if somebody else gave me the pictures. Like if my daughter down the road has a child and gives me photos and say, here, I would gladly, I think, scrapbook them. I think this is one of the pages I struggle with. The very last page in the album, I still don't like it. But it's done. Was it Dina says, done is better than perfect? Sometimes that is so true. Well, I don't ever go for perfection, but sometimes you just want something done. When you're working on a project, like, I highly recommend like those little pieces of paper that you tear off of something, just put it to the side, because sometimes all you need is just the littlest piece of paper to put behind something. Just, I don't know, it just works. Like that very tiny piece of tissue paper. It really comes in handy. And I'm wondering if this album is all going to fall apart in a few days. Because my hot glue gun was not very hot at all. Which was nice for my fingers, but it makes me wonder how well my project's going to hold up. So we are getting close to the halfway mark. So you made it this far. If you want to go take a break, then go do that. Grab a coffee, grab a snack. Just walk away from me. It's okay, I understand. And then come back and watch the rest of it. If you decided to take a break, then welcome back. So I am just continuing on making my September challenge mini album. And please don't you guys think that you have to make a mini album. That is not the point of this challenge. The whole challenge is about something old, something new, something borrowed, and something blue. You can make a tag, you can do a page in your journal, you can make a card for somebody. It can be anything. It does not have to be another mini album. That was just my crazy thinking that made me do this. I saw the pages, the tab pages, and it was old, and I thought, hey, that's what I can do. But please, keep it simple, especially after July, August's challenge. And I know a lot of you are still working on that. So I kept this challenge simple, especially with like kids going back to school and everything. Like September can be a busy month. So I'm adding more of that beautiful Tim collage paper. And every time I use it, I wonder why I don't use it more often. But I know why, because I forget. And that is another stamped Dina Wakley image. And like I said, I'll list the stamps that I use down below in the description box. And this, I believe this is the page. I'm gonna check my album. I don't know. I did struggle with this one, but this is not the one that I still dislike. It's not my favorite, but it's not horrible. But the last page in the album, it's like, no. Oh well. I think I talked so much during the first half that I'm all out. I don't know what to talk about anymore now. So with this video, you're safe to not listen to me. If you don't like, and I'm not taking it personal, and you don't need to comment below that you don't like listening to me talk. That's fine. Just, you know, be nice and not say it. It's okay if you don't. But you're not going to miss any information. You could put me on mute, and I don't even think I have any information come up on the screen. I did that in the beginning for the color of the pages. But the rest of any info will be in the description box or on my website for the blog post for the challenge. So you can have me muted and have music playing while you watch if you like. You won't miss anything. But for those that like to listen to me ramble, then okay. I feel like this page got a little too busy, maybe. It still looks okay, but compared to the rest, there seems to be a lot more going on. I'm sure you can probably hear my dog gallivanting around. He's like a horse. He sounds like a horse trotting. You'll probably soon hear my cats meow too. Once it's close to 5:30, even though I don't feed them until 6 or so, they still meow like crazy. But I try to feed them the same time for breakfast and supper every day, but it doesn't make a difference. They still meow like they're starving to death. So I really feel like I'm just talking for the sake of talking and not really having anything to say. So I'm going to play some music, and if something pops up that I want to tell you about or some information I want to give, I'll be back. Okay, so I didn't even think about it until right now, but this is kind of like another something new. Like, at least for me, like, I know it's been around forever, but this is my absolute first time doing it. I've had these supplies for, goodness, I have no idea how long it's been. It's been months and months and months, and I just haven't gotten around to trying it. So I've melted some wax, and all these supplies I got on Amazon as well. But I thought I would try it. Like, I was looking for an embellishment, and it popped into my head, and it's like, great, I finally get to try the wax seal kit, and I have an embellishment for my album. So there's the little bumblebee. So pretty. I don't know why, but I like, well, it's not that I don't know why, but bees have stuck into my head like years ago when I worked at Cotton Ginny. We had this meeting, and we had to come up with nicknames or something for ourselves. It was some sort of thing, I don't know, I can't remember what it was, like some sort of game or whatever. And like I've said before, I am horrible with coming up with names. So somebody else came up with one for me, and she called me Queen Bee. And that was the name. So it has stuck with me ever since. And I haven't worked at Cotton Ginny since, well, I found out I was pregnant with my first child when I worked there. And she is going to be 21 this month. So it's been a while, but that name has just stuck with me. So anyway, I had to get a bee stamp because, I don't know, I just like it. I thought it was so clever, but I know a lot of other people use it too, so I'm not special. These colors are so pretty in the wax. And the mixture of the blue that was in there from the first one and this green, it looked really pretty. And it's hard to see that one, but it's a moon, and it has like a little vine pattern running through it. It's very pretty. And the threads that I used, the white, that is just strips from my canvas. I pulled at the threads, and then the other stuff is twine that I've had for years. So as you can see, this project uses so much old. It has like old at the wazoo. Maybe that should be October's challenge, to create something using only old products, because I could easily do that. No problem. I could probably supply the rest of you with old products to make something as well. I just would not want to have to pay shipping to send it all out. But yeah, I definitely have enough old supplies to last me. And I really like the look of that, the scribbling on the paper. Hopefully I'll remember to do that again. Okay, that's all I had to say. I'm gone again now. So this is the page that I do not like. I just really, really don't. Yeah, not at all. There's nothing about it that I like. Nope. I'm looking at it, like I have the finished mini album off to my side there. And I like the little cluster. I like parts of the cluster that I'm creating now. Like I liked it best when I kept it simple. I think I liked it better without the wax seal that I'm going to add. But I don't know, there's just something about this page that really bugs me. I don't know if it's the colors, like if I don't feel like the colors work with the rest of the album, but I don't know, like the cover and the second page in the album is different, I find, than all the rest of the album as well, but they don't bother me, not like this last page does. It's just something about it that irks me. If you can think of something I can do to, I don't know, make it better somehow, feel free to suggest something. I mean, it's not going to bother me. Like I'll close this album and tuck it away and probably never look at it again. It's not one of those projects that I'm going to keep going back to. Look, there's some things I make that I really love, like last month's challenge. I love that album. Absolutely love it. And I will go back and look at that. But yeah, that's a cool seal too. That's like astrology, like all the symbols and everything. But my daughter would love that one. The moon one, she would love that one too. But I think I bought her one like that. So yeah, so I added the cluster up top as well, thinking like it just needed something. And I wasn't sold on it. And I brushed it away thinking I wasn't going to do it. And then I ended up adding it back again after. I don't know, maybe I had problems because it was the last page, and I really was rushing through this album, which could be another reason why I'm not loving it like I do other things that I make, because I felt like I had, not that anybody made me feel like I had to rush. I mean, you guys are all so awesome and supportive and never, I don't have anything negative to say. You guys are always amazing. But it was me. Like, I have things that I really want to do. And so I wanted to get this done. Plus, it's a September challenge. So I didn't want too many days going by and not having the challenge ready for you guys. And I wanted to have it all done together. Like, have my blog post ready, do my newsletter, get the video edited so I could post it and link it in my blog post. So it kind of all had to be done at the same time. So I wanted to get it done for you guys and for me so I could move on to other projects that I want to get to. So that is initially done. Like it was pretty much done. The only thing was, like, I was going to go through and see if there's anything I could add to it. Like if I felt like the page was good as it was, or if it needed a little something. And these are Tim Holtz's Ideology, the mini rings. And I was so glad, like, I completely forgot that I had them. I went to a container that I knew I had a bunch of odds and ends, like office supply stuff, but the only binder rings I had were huge. And then I looked among my ephemera and stickers and embellishments and all this stuff, and I saw these rings, and yay. Because if not, I was probably just going to have to use like twine or ribbon or something. So these rings were perfect. I don't even know if they're still available or not. I have no idea. I don't know if it's a really old thing or something he has all the time. These wood veneers, these, yeah, they're old as well. I'm telling you, I'm pulling out all the old stuff. It's probably like a walk down memory lane for you scrapbookers. And it's so funny, like when I bought this stuff, like for scrapbooking, I loved it so much, but I was afraid to use it. It's so stupid. It really is when you think back at it. It's like, okay, you buy it, you spend the money on it, and then because you spent X amount of dollars on it, you don't want to waste it. Like you don't want to go through it too quickly. But in the process, you end up not using it at all. And new stuff comes out that you want, and you're going to buy it. But because you're so afraid of using the product, it never does get used because you move on to the newer stuff that comes out. So it's like one of those things where if I knew then what I know now, like I would have used it all up. And I try to remind myself of that now when I have things like the Dilutions collage sheets or the stickers or anything like that. Like when I go and I'll grab something, I'm like, oh, but that's my favorite. I don't know if I want to use that yet. It's like, no, do it. Because if not, you'll probably keep on putting it off and there'll be more. Or if you miss it that much, you can buy it again. So don't hoard things. Use it up. Yeah, and nothing was going to make that page look better. Like I said, if you think of something, let me know. So I decided to take the album apart again and spread the pages out so I could look at them all at the same time instead of having to flip through the pages. And I just gave it one more look over, and I only added a couple stickers here and there, and that was it. And then I put the album back together and called it done. So my animals are about to make all kinds of noise because my husband just came home and it's time to make supper. So I am going to go. I do hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you enjoy the challenge. Remember, you do not have to make a mini album. It's simply something old, something new, something borrowed, and something blue. That's all that is required. It can be in anything you want it to be. So have fun with the challenge, and I can't wait to see what you all create. Bye. much for stopping by. Let me know if you like my videos by leaving me a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can also head over to my Instagram account and say hi to me over there. If you have any video requests, leave a comment down below and I'll see what I can do. And don't forget to check out my other videos.